Here I have the left Bluetooth earpiece. It was getting to the point where it was only lasting maybe 20 minutes, where the other side would last for about 3 hours, and that hasn't changed much. So I'm going to open this up and see what kind of battery it can deal with, and hopefully I've got something in my inventory. I've had a little bit of everything. Now, I went online and did some checking around, and I don't have the exact tools they have, because if you can get something like this that is plastic, then it's not going to mar this up. But in order to get a little bit of bite, I'm going to score this area right here, and I began that already, and I was able to get this in, and I started feeling it release. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I scored that. I used an X-Acto blade that was very tiny, kept it very short so that I can use some force without snapping it, and used a position to where the foundation is pretty strong. I'm just going to score along that line there, and you can start to see that this is bowing up a little bit, which basically means it's releasing. So that gave me enough to get in with just a small little screwdriver here to get into this. You can see it's bowing up. And I try not to destroy this, because hopefully I can snap it back in place and it'll look like a professional did it. Okay. So okay, let's see. So far, so good. Haven't broken anything yet. There we go. Okay, so this is what we're seeing on now. It's just the circuitry. Most of the speaker part is going to be in here, so we have to get this to release a little bit, and the battery is going to be underneath here. Not sure what type we're going to run into. Usually they'll come like either like a little button cell, like you'll see with like a watch battery, or a little lithium polymer pouch. And I'm not sure. I have some of those that are rechargeable. Oops. And this is in with just a little bit of a lip on the side right here. And let's see if I can get past that and get underneath it. They don't necessarily build these to repair, do they? Let's see if I can bow it a little bit here. Here we are. And you have to be very careful, because a lot of times there's a circuit that connects it to the battery, and there we are. There we are. And it's a little pouch cell. This is it right here. And I just might have something like that. Let's see, this looks like it might even be a little puffed up, which would explain, no, let's explain it. So let's see if we can get the reading of the, now this, we want to replace this as probably might be a form of insulation as well as something on that one. A nice fit. Okay, here we are. See if there's anything written on here. Not seeing much of anything. Nothing on that side at all. So if I don't see anything in the form of writing, I will just replace it with something with size. Now you've seen everything in pretty much real time here, so this is not taking much to fix. And if I can get an idea what this battery is, this will go back together pretty fast. Okay. Spending more time getting this little piece of foam off the battery. It's essentially just a piece of tape. Okay, let's see what we got. I don't know if I'm going to see anything underneath there. Ah, there we go. You get a little something, but I don't rip it all off. Okay. Forty amp hour. That's not much at all. Standard 3.7 volts, nominal volts. Here's the lithium cell, and 40 amp hours right there. So let me cut the video off right here while I go hunting for a battery. Well, here we are about 3 weeks later, and I found some batteries online. Paid about $3 for a pair, but there's a little bit of a problem. Very happy to see this nice package showing up, and I did get 2 batteries. But the first clue was, wait a minute, those look a little big. Remember, look how small this battery is here. Look how big this one is next to it. Uh-oh. So, looking right on here, it actually says this is a 40 milliamp battery. But when you look on side of it, it says 60 milliamps. What am I going to do? Well, I tried to negotiate with them. They wanted to just refund the money. I said, well, great, I'd rather have the batteries, but they just refunded me the money, so I'm not out anything. So, in the meantime, I said, you know, rather than making this a repair, how about making this a hack? And I'll use that increased capacity for the earphones to last a little longer. Now, I don't want any Frankenstein type thing on my head walking around, except I'm going to be home listening to music or podcasts with this, so it doesn't really matter. And as long as I'm not blocking where this little LED will shine through, it shouldn't be a problem. And I can paint it black, you probably wouldn't know. So we're going to give it a shot here. First, we'll go ahead and give it the opportunity to see if it actually can work by fitting it in there, which I doubt it will, given how small this one is in here. But if that doesn't work, I'm just going to lay it right along the side of it right up here and then paint it black afterwards. So let's go ahead and do a little fitting on it first and see if it's something that we can just use the normal way if possible. And if that's not the case, we'll go ahead and do the hack. So here's the battery here. They protect one of the leads here so it doesn't short out in flight. In shipping. And this is not going. I can't squeeze it. I'm not going to be able to reform that at all. So this is going to be a little difficult that you're going to be able to see. But as you can see, look at the difference in size of the battery. Essentially what they went is for a long factor versus the wide factor here. But this might be just a little wide enough that we can try. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'm going to see if this doesn't fit right in there like that. And this, that's about as far as it can go down. There's a little bit of an angle, I believe, on this. If this was more square, it might have been able to fit all the way down the bottom there. But I don't think it's going. There's some supports that are right in about there. So that's preventing it from doing that. And I don't really want to cut those away. Or do I? Those are supports for the circuit board on there. But do we really need those? Let's see. I wonder what would happen if I cut those supports away and we keep this inside completely. Might be able to do that. Okay, let's take a break and we'll see what happens in a few minutes when I can cut those away. Well, it appears we might have a little bit of luck here. There was a little bit of a leg built into the side of the housing here that supported the circuit board, and I cut that away, and it provided just enough room for this to fit down in there, and I'm going to give this a shot. So the next thing we're going to do is attach the wire here. Now, I do not have much luck doing micro soldering on here, so what I am going to do is I am going to cut the wires about up here, bare them a little bit, and then solder to those bared wires there, and then wrap it with a little bit of tape. So the first thing we do is we cut one of the wires here, about there. And see if these little nippers have enough bite in them. Don't seem to want to get in there. We'll do it the old-fashioned way too with the scissors. And if you just careful you're not shorting them out. Okay, so that's one. And pulling that aside there, we can do the other one right here. Okay, so here's our battery. The end's off there. So the next thing that we're going to do is, let's see, I need to get a little bit of a razor blade, is I'm going to scrape off the insulation on here and then solder these on one at a time. Okay, with a brand new X-Acto blade here, placing the wire over my thumbnail like this, is we'll just scrape off this insulation. Okay. Make sure it's off of both sides. And the same thing with the black one here. And my soldering iron is heating up right now. Okay. There we go. And we scraped off insulation on that one. There we go. Okay. Okay, made myself a little jig using a clothespin to hold on to the earpiece. And the red of the battery is lined up with the red here. And so now we just need to have a clean tip on the soldering iron. And let's see if we can join these two. And you can't see, but the black one is sticking way over there. And we don't have to worry about shorting out anything just yet. And let's see if we made good contact on that. And yes, we did. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to put some tape around that to isolate that before we do the next one. Okay, so we've taped off the red and we have the black lined up. Clean off our soldering iron. It'll be interesting to get in that small space right there. And let's see what we're capable of doing here. Let's get a little bit of solder on here. Let's see what we did. And And that's all it took right there. So let's go ahead and take that off and we'll do the next thing. Okay, I had it on the charger for a little while. Usually batteries come with enough of a charge to get going, but these didn't. So it's still charging a bit on here, but that should be enough for us to be able to test it. Now, with any luck, when I pull these off the charger, they automatically turn on, ready to go. And you might be able to hear that connection because I'm recording this on the same phone that it's paired to. So let's see what we can do here. Should be able to see it turn yellow, blue as it goes through that process, and hopefully you can hear it connecting to the phone. Okay, so I hope that did it, and saw how easy it was to replace these. In this particular case, I actually have increased capacity, which this earphone was actually having a problem with. It was only lasting about as half as long as the other side, so there was a problem from the factory, I guess. Anyway, any questions? Put them in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe and share this video to help disabled animals with donated wheelchairs.